Hi, my name is Sizen. Today I've been asked to present my suggested strategy for the newest addition to the Fairmont Foods grocery chain here at the airport. To begin my marketing plan, I need to first go into what is market identification. Now, market identification comes along with figuring out who's going to be in your store and who's not going to be. This comes in big when you actually do get into marketing, so that you know where to advertise and what's going to make the most sense for you going forward. Um, so this also comes from making a primary market and a secondary market to really hammer down who you're really trying to get into the store. We also need to check out the product's competitive advantage. So what we're doing here at the airport by the baggage claim, um, we know that we're going to have a competitive advantage over stores that are just off the airport or convenience stores away from the airport. So part of this goes into the competitive advantage because we're a place that's convenient. We're a place that's lower prices. We're a place with healthier alternatives. Some of our competitive advantage is just not being the McDonald's or the Burger King. You know, just being a store where somebody can pick up their needs or their wants and not have to feel bad about themselves afterwards. So with this, we'll get into the primary market. So I believe that our primary market should be people on business trips. So most people when they're going on flights together, a lot of times they're gonna say, "Hey, we just had this long flight. Um, well, some of our energy's drained, but let's go out. We're in a new city. Let's experience it." But people alone are gonna more go towards the side of, "I'm gonna get some of my energy back, then I'm gonna go crash at the hotel room and get my energy back that way." So because of this, we're looking for people alone on things like business trips or seeing a relative or a midpoint flight, something where they're not really there necessarily for the destination or there with the people. They're just there to get job done, get work done. They're going to be looking to our grocery stores and convenience stores at the baggage claims to quickly fulfill a need, something like a small snack or a small drink, so then they can feel a little more satisfied going to their hotel. Our secondary market is things like families on vacation. Now, for me, like I said earlier, with the McDonald's and the Burger King, when you go into an airport, you're going to see a lot of fast food there. But the last thing I know I want before or after a big flight is a big burger about this size. I mean, right now maybe I could go for one, but definitely not after a 2 hour plus flight. So because of that, having a convenience store where people can get average groceries and smaller snacks, I think will be very convenient for big families or even smaller families. And there's also a lot more healthier alternatives, which would be really good for the kids. And both of these, for the primary and secondary markets, we're looking for an average income or salary. Next is the product mix. So what we'll be selling into the store once we're all set up with the pilot store. First, we need to look at the nature of market planning. So market planning is something that will last basically forever as long as we have this store. You always need to keep tabs on the market and how it's changing and how you're going to implement new strategies, and that's all goes into market planning. Now with our product mix, we also need to look at the concept of product mix. So a product mix is having a variety and different options for different people. Most people, I would say, feel different about what foods they want in different scenarios, and because of the unpredictability of flights and the unpredictability just of the airport itself, having a good product mix for different kinds of situations and people, I think, would be very beneficial. Now, I split my product mixes into two, so both drinks and food. So definitely for drinks, we gotta have bottled water, things like that. I think people water, it gives people that some brain energy back, and it's something that can replenish what was just went missing on that flight they just took. Also, things like with energy in them. So I know if you look at like gas stations and things, convenience store type things, smaller, more condensed ones, a lot of them sell things like energy drinks, such as the Red Bulls, the Monsters, the Starbucks cold coffees. I know those are big. Say somebody, the 2 a.m. flights or 3 a.m. flights or the big morning or big night ones. All of a sudden, I know some people don't like feeling so tired after that, and they'll want to go for an energy drink, especially in a big time zone change, where something like getting your energy back so you're not completely out of it again when it's the middle of the day. Food wise, I think we should go with different kind of convenience store looks. So ones that you'd see at such as like gas stations or small markets. Things like small candy bars or chips. But I also think we should go with breakfast and lunch items. Things that are feel more homemade than they would at a fast food joint. Things like breakfast sandwiches in the morning or deli meat type sandwiches towards lunch. I think to give people that feeling of home and that feeling of normality when they're in a new place, I think will be extremely, extremely cool for them. Next is the market strategies. So the concept of a marketing strategy is knowing when to advertise and where to get the most value out of your marketing. The concept of that is to have your money be spent the right way. You don't want to, if you're really something, for example, would be like if you're going for a demographic of more older people, you're not going to want to put all your money into the social media. You're going to want to go to the newspapers, and you're going to want to go to the cable TV channels, things like that. So for ours, first of all, I think things like airline websites would be a great place to market for us. People would be looking for when they're booking their flights, knowing that all right, we're gonna have there's a Fairmont Foods, right in the baggage claim, so they'll prepare for that. They'll be part of their game plan when they arrive at their new location. Another thing is our store website and social media accounts. I think people who are familiar with Fairmont, let's really tap into them, so that they know, when they're going to this new location, they'll be able to go to a Fairmont Foods, which they have some normalcy with. And also things like cabs and shuttles. So most people don't want to drive their cars to an airport. I know, especially in Minnesota, and during these times when it's so cold, they don't want to leave their car out in the winter that long. And things like parking garages are so expensive. So a lot of people will take cabs and shuttles to the airport. And I think with this, if we advertise in the cabs and shuttles, it will give people a heads up of, hey, there's a Fairmont Foods in here, and there's a lot of great stuff in here that will be able to satisfy you after your big flight. So this was my presentation on our newest marketing strategy. Thank you for meeting with me, Vice President, and I hope to be hearing from you soon. Thank you.